Hi, I'm Stephanie Fail, and I am so excited to give you a tour of the Little Moon membership site. So here I am on the main page. This is what you'll see after you log in. I've got a couple of sections here. First of all, we have this month's activities. So first we kick it off with a field guide to play. So this is where you're going to learn exactly what your child is learning and why it's important, along with a ton of activity ideas. So what I like to do is for each printable activity that you get, I'm going to give you several ways to use it. So this helps cut down on your prep time so that because you're reusing the activity over and over in new and different and creative ways. So all of that, I get a field guide to play every month that comes along with your activities. And then down below, we have the actual activities themselves. So these will be delivered the 15th of the month before the month starts. So you have plenty of time to gather any supplies, things out, and prep your activities for the month. And then they'll be available until the 15th of the month after that month. So then we also have down here several resources. So I've included a printing guide, favorite list of go-to supplies that I use at home, a communication guide. So this kind of, my background is in psychology, and I studied communication. So I love focusing on how to communicate with your child so that you are setting the right foundation for them of how to inspire them to just fall in love with learning. How do you build their internal motivation? And so that's just a guide that I wrote for you and put down here in the resources. And then have the Bloom method. So this is kind of the backbone that all of the activities are built on. So it just gives you a little insight into why I create the activities I do, because I have very thoughtfully crafted something that will resonate with your child, not just skills-based kind of things like you will see ABCs and letters and numbers, but it's beyond that. And I really like to use those things more so just as a topic, but what we're really getting at are the cognitive skills behind that, the emotional skills. So that's what you'll learn about in the Bloom method. Now let's take a look at actually what these look like. You print them out and assemble them.
This is a ocean roll-in graph. So the concept of a roll-in graph is that I give you the materials to make this cool die, which has a different ocean creature on each side. You simply roll it, identify it. So this is an octopus, and then you pick whatever tool you want to color in, and you shade in each cell, and then you just keep going. You keep rolling and shading. My kid loves this game. As an adult, it seems like, what are we doing here? What's the purpose? But for kids, it's simply about the exercise of going through it, and they absolutely love it. My son and I do this together, and it's almost like as each of the animals are winning. But what's really teaching them is about probabilities. That this activity actually does two things. One is a cognitive sequencing activity, and the other is a very creative, imaginative, unstructured play. There are 4 packing list cards. They have all these little cutouts. So a day at the beach, so now they're going to arrange the scene, and they're going to go through and you find each one of these different things and arrange them here however they like. And then they can add some new ones. Ooh, the surfer probably wants a big wave out there. Cognitive sequencing helps kids process the order of events. So by going through and following a list, they're learning how to follow instructions. They're learning how to do things in the right order. This is just a really practical life skill. How to follow a recipe. If you don't do them in the right order, your food's not going to taste very good. So that's the first way that this helps your child. And then the second way is just purely creative. So my son loves this. He will go meticulously through these items, and then he starts to get really creative. And this is where I start to see a ton of independent play. So this next activity is a riddle, where it's actually a decoding exercise to get those problem-solving muscles going. So there's a riddle down here, and your child will map each animal to find the letter and then write the letter in. So they're practicing letters and then actually decoding and working some executive functioning brain skills. This next activity is a scavenger hunt. You get 4 cards. Each one has things that you can find on the beach. Actually, you have a trip to the beach, and you can use these, grab 1, grab 4 of them, split up in groups, or just make it an individual activity, and then look for these things. You can actually look for, they're things that are easy to find and are picture-based that you can find on the beach, and then you can just check them off when you find them. Another way to play this game is indoors. So let's say you want to set up a scavenger hunt inside your house. I've included matching cards that you can print out you see correspond to the same item on the list. So what you can do is hide these around your house, and then as your child finds them, they have to come and match them to the card until they fill up all the items. So this activity is actually a very low prep cutting activity. So we've got the beach scene, and it's meant to be a scissor practice exercise. So you just need scissors, and your child will cut along these lines, wavy lines at the beach. But you can actually use it in a couple of different ways. Your child can draw on the lines with crayons, markers, or they can actually just take Play-Doh or use their hands to follow the lines. This next activity is a fun language learning game. Specifically, practicing upper and lowercase letter matching. We have some oyster shells with some uppercase letters, and then we have some pearls. So we're going to match the uppercase to the lowercase. This next activity is using matching cards. So you can match two different sides in a two-part matching puzzle. So for instance, you've matched here and here. And then you also get a set that doesn't have the line, and that's really great for playing a game of memory. So you print out 2 copies, and then you turn them over, and then you try to match the pairs based on where you've memorized where the cards are. This is such a fun game for young kids. It's really strengthening their working memory skills, and working memory is one of those things where once your kid is kind of able to stretch that working memory, they're going to have a much easier time processing and learning other information later on down the road. So there you have it. That is what a sample month looks like in the Little Moon membership.